In a stunning turn of events on the bold and the beautiful, the entire city of Los Angeles is shaken to its core when young Beth Spencer is reported missing. What initially appears to be a case of mistaken identity or a potential kidnapping for ransom quickly spirals into something far more personal and infinitely more disturbing. The culprit is not a stranger, not a vengeful ex, not a criminal from the outside. It's someone much closer. Someone whose very name commands power and respect across the city. The man behind the abduction is none other than Dollar Bill Spencer himself, Liam's father, media titan, ruthless mogul, and now the man responsible for stealing his own granddaughter. It all begins on an otherwise typical morning. Hope Logan wakes up and checks on Beth, only to find her daughter's bed empty. Panic sets in instantly. The entire Spencer and Logan families are alerted within minutes. Liam is the first to respond, his voice shaking as he demands answers from everyone. Security footage from the estate is reviewed. Alarms were bypassed. No signs of forced entry. Someone knew how to get in. Someone who belonged. Someone trusted. As the hours stretch on and no ransom call comes, no clues are uncovered, the family begins to realize this isn't a conventional kidnapping. This is something far worse. Something deeply personal. Ridge Forrester, Steffi, Brooke, and even Finn all descend upon the estate to support Hope and Liam. But as law enforcement begins their official investigation, new layers of discomfort start to emerge. One by one, the family members are interviewed, timelines are checked, and then an anomaly. A car, a black SUV, registered to Spencer Publications, spotted leaving the neighborhood in the middle of the night. Security camera footage confirms the driver, William Spencer. At first, no one believes it. Bill? Kidnap his own granddaughter? Impossible. The man is cutthroat in business, sure. He's been manipulative, dangerous, and at times selfish, but not this. Not his flesh and blood. Not Beth. But the evidence is undeniable. And what begins as disbelief soon morphs into terror as Liam realizes that not only is his daughter missing, his father took her. Hope is nearly hysterical as she tries to understand why. Why would Bill do this? Why now? What does he want? But it's not about money. It's not about power. It's not even about revenge. It's something far darker. As police begin tracking Bill's movements, more disturbing details emerge. Financial records reveal that Bill had been purchasing survival supplies for months. Satellite phones. Off-grid property in the desert. Underground bunkers. The pieces come together quickly. This wasn't impulsive. This was planned. Beth wasn't taken in a moment of madness. Bill had been preparing to disappear with her. The motive, when finally uncovered, sends chills through everyone. Bill believed he was rescuing Beth from the world, from her parents, from the system. In his mind, corrupted by years of untreated delusions, Beth was in danger. Not from enemies, but from those closest to her. Bill's paranoia, long masked by arrogance and authority, had finally crossed the threshold into psychosis. And the truth surfaces. Bill Spencer has been battling a severe mental illness for decades. Buried under his empire, hidden behind boardrooms and bravado, Bill has been suffering in silence, his mind slowly unraveling while everyone around him mistook it for control. Flashbacks reveal a chilling pattern. Moments where Bill's actions seemed cruel or erratic now take on new meaning. His obsessive control over his sons. His attempts to manipulate custody arrangements. His deep distrust of almost everyone, including family. These were not just power plays, they were symptoms. Symptoms of a man losing his grip on reality. The revelation cracks the foundation of both the Spencer and Forrester families. Liam is devastated. He replays every interaction with his father, looking for the signs he missed. He's torn between rage and heartbreak. This man, this towering figure in his life, has not only betrayed him, he's endangered his daughter. Hope, equally shattered, cannot process the betrayal. The man who once claimed to love Beth as his own blood now sees her as a pawn in a delusional game of protection and isolation. Meanwhile, Ridge and Steffi begin digging deeper, concerned about how far this legacy of mental instability might stretch. Ridge recalls vague stories about Bill's father's erratic behavior, violent outbursts, sudden disappearances, all things dismissed as eccentricity at the time. But now, viewed through the lens of Bill's unraveling, a new narrative forms. This illness is generational. And it may not stop with Bill. As search teams begin closing in on the desert property Bill purchased under an alias, the mood grows increasingly tense. No one knows what state of mind he's in. No one knows what Beth is experiencing. And the terrifying question looms, what if Bill no longer sees the difference between protection and harm? When law enforcement finally breaches the compound, what they find is haunting. A hidden underground bunker, stocked with food, water, books, toys, even a child's bed. Beth is safe, physically unharmed, and confused. She tells officers that Grandpa said they were going on a trip. Bill is found seated in a rocking chair, unshaven, eyes vacant. He doesn't resist arrest. He doesn't argue. He simply asks, "Did I save her in time?" The aftermath rocks every family involved. Bill is committed to a psychiatric institution after being deemed unfit to stand trial. The headlines explode. Spencer Publications' stock plummets. Board members resign. The empire begins to crumble. Wyatt and Liam are left to pick up the pieces, forced to confront a legacy built on lies, manipulation, and now madness. Hope clings to Beth, refusing to let her out of her sight. She struggles with the guilt of not seeing the signs, of trusting Bill. She avoids public appearances. She disconnects from everyone but her daughter and Liam. Steffi and Ridge launch a quiet investigation into the Spencer bloodline, determined to understand if any other time bombs are ticking. Liam, most of all, is haunted, not just by what his father did, but by what might come next. Could he carry the same genetic weight? Could it be passed to Beth? These questions keep him up at night. He consults doctors, geneticists, psychiatrists. He becomes obsessed with making sure Beth has every tool to stay safe, mentally and emotionally. He pours himself into her future, desperate to break the cycle. But the scars remain. Brooke, horrified, begins campaigning for mental health awareness, using her platform to push for change. She and Ridge find common ground in their shared mission, even as the chaos leaves their families in turmoil. Katie is silent for days after the truth comes out. Her grief is quiet, but deep. She loved Bill once, trusted him, shared a child with him. Now she must explain to Will why his father is in a hospital and not coming back. As for Bill, he fades from the world he once dominated. Confined to a high-security facility, he slips between lucidity and delusion. Some days, he believes he's still running Spencer Publications. Other days, he stares at the wall, whispering Beth's name. On the rare occasion he speaks to visitors, he asks if they've kept her safe. His mind, once sharp enough to control empires, now lost in shadows. And Beth, innocent, tries to understand what happened. She talks about Grandpa's game sometimes. She draws pictures of the desert. She clings to her mother more often. Hope seeks therapy for both of them, determined to build something whole out of what was nearly broken beyond repair. This storyline sends shockwaves through the bold and the beautiful. A kidnapping rooted not in greed or hatred, but in fractured love and unspoken illness. A man revered for power exposed as fragile and broken, and a family forced to confront the darkness within their own bloodline. No one emerges unchanged, because some betrayals cut deeper than manipulation. Some wounds go beyond scandal, and some truths, once uncovered, cannot be buried again. This is the bold and the beautiful, where even love can destroy, and family can be the most dangerous bond of all.